Hi, I'm Penny Pausha of Instincts at Work, and I'm really glad that you've joined me today to learn about 3 critical skills you need to lead in an increasingly complex world. I'm worried. I'm worried about the leaders that I see on a daily basis who, in response to complexity and the fact that it's harder and harder to feel a sense of accomplishment and achievement with their old ways of doing things, are really pushing themselves harder and harder. So we're seeing increasing levels of people feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, burdened, and frankly, just exhausted. And what I'm here to tell you is critical information, because understanding complexity is understanding that there are actually different skills that are needed to lead effectively. There's nothing wrong with you. What's happened is that the world has changed dramatically, and our ways of operating need to change in order to adapt to that. And so I'm inviting you to learn more about what those 3 critical skills are. At Instincts at Work, we've been working in this field with leaders for over a decade, and we've taken hundreds of leaders through the process of learning new skills so that they're more adapted and effective at dealing with complexity. And so, what are some of these skills that you'll learn about? One of the critical skills is how to lean into uncertainty. And this is where the neuroscience comes in. That's very, very important to understand. Our brains crave certainty. Our brains are pattern-making machines, and we look for ways to fill in what is unknown or uncertain. Part of being an adapted leader to complexity is being willing to work with or adapting to working with your own brain's response to uncertainty. Because the natural response is to experience it as a threat. And this shuts down our ability to be effective and innovative. So as a leader, you need to develop the ability to hold complexity without collapsing it and without letting your emotional system take over to come to snap judgments. That takes training. A second skill is about learning to use yourself as an effective instrument of change. What does this mean? Beyond actually overcoming the threat state with uncertainty, we also need to be able to challenge some core assumptions and think about how do we lead even if we're not in a position of leadership inside of an organization. So with things being more complex, many leaders are finding that they have to lead from the edge. They have to be able to influence even with their peers. And so this requires understanding how you can be an instrument of change and how you can adapt in those circumstances. And there are core skills that people need to learn to do that outside of regular hierarchical structures. A third critical skill is around how we balance results and relationships. So what's important to understand here is that we know that creating psychological safety is a key driver of performance in teams. But at the same time, if you're always creating psychological safety and making everyone feel comfortable, there's a diminishing of performance. So this requires actually knowing how to stretch people while keeping them anchored in feeling psychologically safe. And this is critical to having a growth mindset and building a growth mindset culture. So at Instincts at Work, we are experts in helping leaders to adapt in these ways and learn these skills. We have a number of different ways for you to engage with us and to learn these skills. We have membership communities. We have a leadership quotient assessment for you to start to assess your areas for improvement. And we also have a curriculum consisting of level 1, level 2 programs, as well as coaching to help you develop in these ways. So we want to invite you to learn more, to engage with us so that we can support you in developing those critical skills so that you can adapt for yourself and for the good of the systems we're trying to transform. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you soon.